Joe Rogan just discussed about Tim Tebow's viral appearance on the Shawn Ryan show.
Yeah, yeah.
What was 110,000? But see, we don't do anything about it. Again, I don't want to get into.
Well, you know the thing to do about it.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't want to encourage vigilantism, but that's
Public square? You mean maybe
not
like
even just it's the problem is you can't do that because some people are going to be unjustly accused. It's the unfairly targeted. There's people that you can't just, you have to have due process. This is
Chris Hansen. You ever seen his Catch a Predator thing?
Yes.
So
I think a little context is important here. Not everyone knows who Tim Tebow is, right? He's not just a former NFL quarterback and Heisman Trophy winner. He's also a passionate Christian and, these days, a full-time advocate fighting one of the darkest evils in the world: child trafficking. Recently, Tim sat down with Shawn Ryan, a former Navy SEAL and host of The Shawn Ryan Show. The conversation lasted nearly 3.5 hours, and it's going viral. But not because it was some typical celebrity interview. No, this was raw, intense, emotional, and deeply eye-opening. Tim didn't hold back. He talked about the horrifying scale of child exploitation, especially right here in the US. And when I say horrifying, I mean it. At one point, he shared something that honestly stopped me in my tracks: a Department of Justice red dot map showing over 111,000 unique US IP addresses that had either downloaded, shared, or distributed explicit images of children under 12. Just in the past 30 days. Let that number settle in. 111,000. In 1 month. And it gets worse. Tim pointed out that 55 to 85% of these people aren't just looking, they're actually hands-on offenders. With, on average, 13 victims each in their lifetime. That's not a statistic, that's a crisis. And here's the part that breaks your heart. The top abusers? Biological fathers. Followed by trusted family and friends. It's not just happening somewhere else, it's happening right here. In our neighborhoods, in our communities. Tim got emotional during the conversation, and who wouldn't? Especially when he spoke about 57,000 children, whose identities are still unknown. And among them, over 3,000 are infants and toddlers. He even shared what's being talked about in some of these dark web forums where predators discuss growing their own victims. I'll be honest, it's tough to hear. But as Tim said, we cannot ignore this. The good news is, he's not just talking, he's doing money. His foundation has already rescued over 2,000 victims, helped prosecute 500 traffickers, and built 20 safe homes for survivors. But he's pushing for more. He's backing something called the Renewed Hope Act, a bipartisan bill that would help Homeland Security hire more investigators and analysts to find and rescue victims faster. And he's asking all of us to decontact our representatives and support the bill. Tim also shared advice for parents. Simple but powerful stuff. Keep an eye on your kids' online activity. Set clear tech boundaries. Teach them what to watch out for. And then he said something that really stuck with me. Sometimes you have to be the bad guy to be the protector you're called to be. That hit hard because he's right. So what can we actually do? First, visit timtebowfoundation.org. Learn more, support the work if you can. Second, call or write your congressional representative. Why? Ask them to support the Renewed Hope Act. And third, please share this message. Because the more people who know, the harder it is for this evil to keep hiding in the shadows. Look, this isn't an easy topic. It's uncomfortable. It's heartbreaking. But Tim Tebow's interview was a wake-up call. And maybe it's the one we all needed. If this hit you like it hit me, like the video, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation alive. Drop a comment below. I want to know your thoughts. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.